America's economic roller coaster. Why we're talking about it. The US economy, it's a bit like a roller coaster with its ups and downs, twists and turns. Just like a roller coaster, it can be thrilling and terrifying at the same time. One moment you're climbing to new heights and the next you're plunging into a steep drop. The unpredictability is what makes it so fascinating and at times so nerve-wracking. And lately, it's been a wild ride. The twists and turns have been sharper, the drops steeper, and the climbs more exhilarating. From trade wars to tax cuts, from record highs in the stock market to sudden crashes, the economic landscape has been anything but stable. Donald Trump promised to make America great again with his economic policies. But did he? His tenure was marked by bold promises and controversial decisions. He aimed to boost the economy through deregulation, tax cuts, and renegotiating trade deals. But the results have been mixed, to say the least. Some folks saw their paychecks get a little bigger. Tax cuts meant more money in the pockets of many Americans, leading to increased consumer spending. This, in turn, helped boost certain sectors of the economy. Others lost their jobs in trade wars. Industries like manufacturing and agriculture were hit hard by tariffs and retaliatory measures from other countries. The stock market soared, then crashed, then soared again. Investors were on a constant edge, trying to predict the next move. It's enough to make your head spin. So what's the deal? Why is the economy behaving this way? And more importantly, what does it mean for the average American? Why should we care about all this economic mumbo-jumbo? Because at the end of the day, the economy isn't just about numbers and graphs. It's about people. It's about our jobs, our savings, our future. Well, because it affects all of us. Whether you're a factory worker, a teacher, a small business owner, or a retiree, the state of the economy has a direct impact on your life. It determines the opportunities available to you, the cost of living and your financial security. It impacts the jobs we have, the prices we pay, and the stability of our financial future. When the economy is strong, there are more job opportunities, wages tend to rise, and people feel more confident about spending money. Conversely, when the economy is weak, job opportunities dry up, wages stagnate, and people become more cautious with their spending. And the future we're heading towards. The decisions made today will shape the economic landscape for years to come. It's crucial to understand these dynamics so we can make informed decisions about our own lives and advocate for policies that benefit the broader community. In this series, we'll break down the US economy under Trump in a way that even your Uncle Bob, who still thinks Bitcoin is a type of bird, can understand. We'll explore the key policies, their impacts, and what the future might hold. We'll talk to experts, analyze data, and bring you stories from real people affected by these economic shifts. Buckle up, folks, it's going to be a bumpy ride. But with a little knowledge and understanding, we can navigate these twists and turns together. So stay tuned, and let's dive into the economic roller coaster that is America. Trade wars, Trump's big bets, and their global fallout. The global economy is a complex web of interdependencies, and any significant move by a major player can send ripples across the world. When Donald Trump took office, he made it clear that he intended to shake things up, particularly in the realm of international trade. One of Trump's signature moves? Trade wars. He believed that the United States was getting a raw deal in its trade relationships and decided to take a hard stance. This approach was a cornerstone of his America First policy, which aimed to prioritize American interests in every aspect of governance. He slapped tariffs, which are basically taxes on goods from other countries, on China, Mexico, the European Union, you name it. These tariffs were intended to make imported goods more expensive, thereby encouraging consumers and businesses to buy American-made products instead. The idea was to reduce the trade deficit and bring manufacturing jobs back to the US. His goal? To protect American jobs and businesses. By making foreign goods more expensive, Trump hoped to give American companies a competitive edge. This was particularly important in industries that had been hit hard by globalization, such as manufacturing and steel production. Trump argued that other countries were taking advantage of the US, and he was going to fight back. He claimed that unfair trade practices such as currency manipulation and state subsidies were putting American businesses at a disadvantage. His administration believed that by imposing tariffs, they could force other countries to negotiate better trade deals. But did it work? Well, it's complicated. The immediate effects of the tariffs were mixed. While some industries benefited, others faced significant challenges. the long-term impact on the global economy is still a subject of debate among economists and policymakers. Some industries, like steel, saw a boost. The tariffs made imported steel more expensive, which helped American steel producers increase their market share. This led to job growth and higher wages in the steel industry, which had been struggling for years. But others, like agriculture, got slammed by retaliatory tariffs from other countries. Farmers, in particular, were hit hard. Countries like China and Mexico responded to U.S. tariffs by imposing their own tariffs on American agricultural products. This made it more difficult for American farmers to sell their goods abroad, leading to lower prices and reduced income. The trade wars created uncertainty in the global economy, making businesses nervous to invest and hire. Companies were unsure about the future of international trade policies, which made them hesitant to make long-term investments. This uncertainty also affected global supply chains, as businesses had to navigate new tariffs and trade barriers. And guess what? Consumers ended up paying higher prices for everyday goods. Ouch! The increased cost of imported goods was often passed on to consumers, leading to higher prices for items like electronics, clothing, and even food. This had a direct impact on household budgets, making it more expensive for families to make ends meet. In the end, Trump's trade wars were a gamble with far-reaching consequences. While some sectors of the economy saw benefits, others faced significant challenges. The global fallout from these policies is still being felt today as countries continue to navigate the complexities of international trade in a post-Trump era. Tax cuts and trickle-down. Who got what under Trump? During Trump's presidency, one of the most significant changes was the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. This legislation aimed to overhaul the tax code, promising benefits for both individuals and businesses. But who really got what under Trump? Remember that time you got a tax refund and you were all like, "Sweet, time for a vacation"? For many Americans, the tax cuts meant a little extra cash in their pockets. Families could afford a bit more, maybe a vacation or some home improvements. It felt like a win for the average Joe. Well, under Trump, corporations got a massive tax cut, and it was like spring break in the Cayman Islands. The corporate tax rate was slashed from 35% to 21%, a historic reduction. This was supposed to spur investment and economic growth, making the U.S. a more attractive place for businesses. The idea was that these tax cuts would boost the economy, companies would invest more, create more jobs, and everyone would benefit. The administration argued that with more money in their coffers, businesses would expand operations, hire more workers, and increase wages. It was a vision of prosperity for all. This is called trickle-down economics. The theory suggests that benefits for the wealthy and businesses will eventually trickle down to the rest of the population. By reducing taxes on the rich and corporations, the wealth would flow down to workers and consumers, boosting the overall economy. But did the money actually trickle down? Not so much. While the theory sounds promising, the reality was different for many. Some companies did reinvest in their businesses, but others did not. Instead of creating new jobs or raising wages, many corporations chose to use their tax savings in other ways. While some companies did hire more workers, many used the extra cash to buy back their own stock, which mainly benefits wealthy investors and CEOs. Stock buybacks can boost a company's share price, making shareholders wealthier. However, this practice does little to help the average worker or the broader economy. Meanwhile, the national debt ballooned, leaving future generations to foot the bill. The tax cuts significantly reduced government revenue, contributing to a growing deficit. This means that while some enjoyed short-term gains, the long-term financial health of the country was put at risk. So, was it worth it? You decide. The tax cuts under Trump remain a topic of heated debate. Supporters argue that they stimulated economic growth and made the U.S. more competitive. Critics, however, point to the increased inequality and rising national debt as significant downsides. The true impact of these policies may take years to fully understand, but one thing is clear: the benefits were not evenly distributed. Section 4. Jobs, jobs, jobs. Did Trump deliver on his promises? Trump campaigned on a promise to bring back jobs to America. He pointed to rising job numbers as proof that his policies were working. And it's true, the unemployment rate hit historic lows during his presidency. But here's the thing: the economy was already on an upward trajectory when he took office. Plus, many of the new jobs were in low-wage sectors like retail and food service. These jobs often don't offer benefits like healthcare or paid time off. So while more people were working, many were still struggling to make ends meet. It's not as simple as just looking at the number of jobs created. Section 5. The Fed and Trump, a financial tug-of-war. The Federal Reserve, or the Fed, is like the referee of the US economy. It sets interest rates, which affect how much it costs to borrow money. Trump, however, wanted lower interest rates to boost the economy even further. He publicly criticized the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, accusing him of holding back the economy. This kind of pressure on the Fed is unusual. It's supposed to be independent from political influence. But Trump's comments raise concerns about whether he was trying to undermine the Fed's credibility.